Anybody going to the new spot who's ready to go? Please see this gentleman right here. You might get inundated. I don't know how many people you can take or what.
The move from City Hall to the WSDOT property known as the Chicken Coop began the morning of the 13th. Breaking the camp down and moving the residents to the new location took 2 more days. Residents had to decide what they wanted to do, and everything had to be packed and moved. Bill Seat was one of the camp residents who helped with the move to the WSDOT property. I followed Bill's homeless journey for more than a year through a couple of shelters, so I asked him for his thoughts on the day's events.
The positive about this is that Julie knows what she's doing. She doesn't leave anything really to chance. But there is the fact that PD nothing they do is of the norm. So the chances of this being us having to move within the next day and a half, pretty good. But she'll have something, something lined up. I've seen that where people on the streets and people in here in these fields have had PD come in and they've run them off. But they're scared. That's the difference. Here, we're not afraid. I believe in what Julie's doing, so I believe that she has I'll tell you spot that this goes backwards. I mean, eventually they will come out. Eventually. We already know that. But it gives us some time. That's the main thing. Is time.
How are things going?
Things are going good. They're going good. I love seeing this. Everybody's cooperating. Everybody's pitching in.
What are they doing this morning?
Right now they're setting up two more shelters, extending the ones we have.
Those are the common areas?
Yes, that's the common areas there. It's where we got camp stove set up for heating up water. We got the bottled water in there. We have heaters in there, propane heaters in there, and chairs set up so people can go in there and get warm. It pretty much stays about 20 degrees warmer in there than it is out here. That's where all the food area is, so they can just have access to whatever kind of food that there is available, which is a lot, and a lot of different kinds.
Yeah, I saw a lot of food here yesterday. I don't know where it all came from, but
the community, the community is stepping in, and they're bringing it down. They're making sure everybody's fed. It's a lot of different restaurants, a lot of different organizations that's doing it. So that's what's going on.
What's your name?
Tia Lawrence.
And what's your name?
And Jesse Lawrence.
So, how long have you been homeless?
7 months.
What started it?
We were living up on the South Hill, and our owner decided because of COVID, because he couldn't get back and forth to Germany, that he wanted to live in the house that he was renting out, which we've had a little bit of problems because we have 3 children who aren't obviously currently with us, but he didn't want them in the house because he said they were too loud, and didn't want a smoker because my husband smokes cigarettes.
Even though I was going outside.
Even though we were going outside. So anyways, there was just a big old problem. Well, he went to the court when the COVID first hit, and he said, I want to reside in this residence. I want to live here because I can no longer travel back to home. So I want to live in my house that I'm renovating. And he went to court, got it all documented, so we had to move out that next month. So we've been out in our car. We have a 2015 Dodge Caravan, We've been out in that since July. So, and our 3 babies right now are with my mom until we can find a place. So, other than that, we've been working on our mental health together. So that's another thing. I mean, we don't have poor rental history. We haven't lived in very many places, but because of my husband's criminal background, it's hard to find a place.
So tell me what you guys are doing.
We're actually expanding this because of the amount of people that need warmth. And, this is kind of our commons area. And as homelessness gets worse, we need to be able to help people. So I end up getting here through a large series of unfortunate events. I'm a caregiver. And people still need help whether they're homeless or not. And there's a lot of people in wheelchairs, walkers, and I don't mind being homeless because right now I'm able to help a lot of people who wouldn't get help otherwise. Because people just don't care about the homeless, don't care about the disabled. And it's wrong, it's abuse. And they need to stop doing this to us.
It was 2 days before Christmas when I saw this umbrella fighting to keep snow out of a tent, and I decided the person holding it was someone I should meet. His name is Preston, one of the early residents of Camp Hope.
So what started your homeless journey?
This one?
Yeah.
Thinking that I was actually getting into a home and then not being able to actually get into that home and leaving the home to get into the home. The confusion of it all just piled up and it didn't all fit together. So now I'm in this spot, and it's a lot better than walking around with 5 bags on your shoulders. And every time you go to work, you have to bring your whole house with you.
Have you tried any of the local shelters?
No. No, because I'm native spiritual, and a majority of the shelters make you do like a religious thing. So
Okay.
and also have PTSD, and so it's kind of like fight or flight. So if somebody else is in the room and starts screaming and yelling, I start screaming and yelling, or I sneak out the back door and leave. And I don't want to ruin any resources that I have by just staying a night or two and then doing that. So I stay away. This is a lot better because it actually helps out other people see that homelessness is real. I'm homeless because of my mental illness mostly. I admit that, and I know it. But there's some people who are homeless for other reasons, and you'll never get rid of homelessness. Even if everybody gets a house, there's going to be still people out there who don't want to live in those houses.
If I had to choose one picture to summarize a nascent Camp Hope on this cold and snowy day, 2 days before Christmas in 2021, I think I'd choose this one. The tent belonged to a friend of mine, Cindy, whom I followed through 3 low-barrier shelters and now a homeless camp. I recognize the walker and the wagon. If you could look her up in the CMIS homeless tracking system, you'd find that she's had and lost housing more than once. Why? Because meaningfully addressing homelessness isn't simply about more shelter space or giving people housing. It's about working with them to address all of the other issues that have kept them on the street or in shelters or in homeless camps and prevented them from keeping the housing they worked long and hard to get. None of us foresaw that in the months ahead, 623 more Cindys would call this camp home.